What is up, family? I'm back with another video. I think I've done one in the past on Folsom State Prison. I'm just going to do another little one. More of a historical part, I guess, whatever. So, Folsom State Prison is the second oldest prison in the state. The first one is San Quentin. Quentin opened in 1876 and Folsom opened in 1878. However, the California State Legislature in 1858 authorized its construction. Mind you, in 1858, California was only 8 years old. So anyways, the prison was opened in 1878. It was holding federal inmates as well as state prison inmates, and it was kind of designed for like long-term offenders. It had a condemned row. They did executions there, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And they also, it ended up also holding like what you could consider repeat offenders or chronic habitual, criminals. And so with that kind of a mix, quickly gained a reputation for being, a rockin' and rollin', violent, bloody place. So let's get into the video. Folsom State Prison is located in Northern California in the eastern part of Sacramento County in the township of Represa, which is completely encircled by the city of Folsom. It's along the American River, right at the base of the Sierra Nevada foothills. The location was picked because of the almost infinite amount of granite material that was found along the American River. The entire prison was pretty much built out of granite in the beginning. It's completely encircled by a 30-foot granite wall, and you can see it there in this picture of the famous West Gate entrance to the prison. Now, the oldest part of the prison is actually only one housing unit today. It's Building 5 or Cell Block 5. And I couldn't really find any modern pictures of it, but this is an older picture, obviously, and it looks just like it today. The housing unit is completely made out of granite. There's no concrete. It's granite slabs that make up all the cell blocks and the cells. And it's like living inside of a cave. And inmates who lived in this housing unit report creepy sounds during the night, like chains being dragged up and down the tier and other noises. It's probably very haunted. Me personally, I've never been assigned to this housing unit for whatever reason. I've lived in every other building at Folsom Prison, but not this one. But I am told that these cells here are very, very big, especially compared to the other parts of the prison. The death row, or condemned row as it was called, is still there today. It's been converted to the education department. It's there in 5 building. It looks just like this. It's just a separate offshoot. And it's 5 cells on bottom, 5 cells on top. A little stairway on the left, and on the right there's kind of a dead end there. And it's pretty creepy. So you want to talk about like a mind fuck, right? That condemned row or death row there, right? It was 10 cells, 5 cells on bottom, 5 cells on top, and you're housed in each cell is like you're housed in order of your execution date, right? So if you're at the very end cell on the very top on the far right, the very last cell, that means you're next up to be executed. And when your day comes, they open your door, you step out. And instead of being led away and going down the stairs, nope, you make a left and then walk about 4 or 5 feet, and there's a fucking noose right there. Put it around your neck, push you off, and you're dead. And you hang to your dead, and then the guy in the cell next to you moves into that cell now, and everybody moves up a cell. Okay? So you move up a cell, and you move up a cell until each execution's done, and then you keep going, like you play musical chairs until it's your turn. So imagine how much of a mindfuck that would be. You get sentenced to death row. You get sent to Folsom. You go to condemned row. You're in the very first cell. Okay, cool. I got quite a ways to go. I got 9 guys ahead of me, right? A year later, they execute someone. Boom, you move up a cell. 3 months later, they execute someone. Boom, you move up a cell. 2 years go by. They execute the next guy. You move up a cell. Can you imagine what that would be like to finally have the day come where you move into that last cell? That's the end of the road. That's the last stop. That's just crazy to me. So moving on to the rest of the prison, the rest of the housing units look like this. It's going to be 5 tiers high with a whole row of cells, up to like maybe 30 cells depending on the housing unit. There's building 1, this is building 2 right here, and then there's building 3. Building 4 is the whole. But that cell block goes 5 tiers high. If you were to be thrown off that tier, it would kill you. I've never seen anyone thrown off it, but I saw someone jump off it and to kill themselves, and it was horrific. This is shower time, which is terrible because they unlock like damn near the whole half of the building, and you have to walk down to the shower with your shower stuff and your boxers, and it's just crowded. A bunch of swinging wieners and naked men. It sucks. Guys bumping into you and all this bullshit. So while 5 Block has been around since 1878, the rest of the prison that you see here was built in 1926, I think. It was in the 20s for sure. But here is typical of something that you would see a guy doing with the mirror. If you want to see what's going on down the tier, you just grab your mirror and stick it out the bars, and you could see what's going on down there. Here's an inmate worker running around. He's probably running dope and contraband to his buddies under the auspices of sweeping and mopping. Couldn't get any pictures of what's inside the cell except for this one. And you can see how small it is. It's smaller than small. And it was originally designed for one person, and even that's too small. I mean, you can see the guy sitting on his bed here, and his legs are touching the wall. He has no room. And so imagine 2 people in there. It's freaking crowded. You know, you want to talk about being claustrophobic. This would be it right here. Speaking of small, everything else on the prison is small too. Look at the yard. The yard's hella small, and it's hella crowded. See all those people back there? It's so small and crowded and cramped that they can't let all the housing units out during yard. They'll do a rotation, and then yard gets capped at 500 inmates. So if your building doesn't make it out, like for the morning, it'll make it out for the afternoon or the next day, you know, vice versa. Here's the pull-up bars. I guess this would be the blacks one, then next to that would probably be the Mexicans, and then the whites. Everything's segregated by race. See the tables there? Everyone's kind of the same race. And you have to be real careful where you step, because you could easily step out of bounds into another race's area, at which time you would encounter some problems. Here are some guys walking around on the crowded yard. Oh, here's Blood Alley. Every prison has a Blood Alley. Kind of a little blind spot area where people like to take other people and stab them up. Other yard amenities include a handball court for your enjoyment. Go out and slap a blue ball against a wall, and it is great fun. Great fun here at this luxurious resort of Folsom Prison. So my first time in prison, I got sent there. So I got out of reception, and then I got sent to Folsom. And you get there, right? And the bus pulls in, and you see the imposing granite wall and the tower and all this crazy shit. And then you pull into the prison itself, behind the wall. You go to the little R&R center, which is where you get processed at, and then off to the housing unit you go. And as soon as I stepped into that housing unit, it was like a movie. You know, like you're a new guy and you got your stuff and you're looking around and you just look up and you see these vast row of cells and cell bars and inmates walking around 5 tiers high. You hear all boom boxes booming, blaring everywhere, radios blaring, TVs blaring. You smell cigarette smoke and weed smoke all up in the air. I see a prison guard sitting on a lawn chair at the end of the tiers reading the magazine. I'm like, where the fuck am I? And I see all these mirrors pop out. Boop. And everyone's checking me out. Like, oh, who's the new guy? You know, it was fucking crazy. And it's just a real negative place. There's negative energy there from just decades of human suffering. You could just feel the negative energy like ingrained in the walls, you know? It sucks. It's a depressing place. It's sad. Cold as fuck in the winter. Hot as fuck in the summer because it's all granite and like concrete. Like the newer parts that were built in 1920, it's still concrete and granite. There's no like, you know, air conditioning or heater. It's just fucking cold or hot. It's dirty, it's dusty, it's loud. It just freaking sucks balls. So that's gonna do it. Hope you like this video. I will see you on the next one. Okay, so be sure to tune in, be sure to comment and like and all that shit. All right, bye.